Hi friend, David here from Learn Stage Lighting, and today we're going to talk about the LightShark lighting console, and is it right for you? Stay tuned. Now this month on Learn Stage Lighting here on YouTube, we're talking about intermediate level lighting consoles. That is, those lighting consoles that are a step above the basic stuff, but not as complex and not as difficult to learn as the full-on professional grade stuff. And as we've talked about, some of the huge benefits of this are that it's quick and easy to learn and set up, almost as easy as the basic consoles, and they can do fairly more complex things. And also, another big thing about these intermediate level consoles is that they just don't have as many options or as many things that they can do as the full-on pro grade console, which might sound like a bad thing, but a lot of times in lighting, keeping it simpler and having less options means that over the long haul, you're less likely to mess up your programming. You're less likely to program in weird things that you can't understand, and things are a lot more straightforward and easy to use, okay? And so the LightShark, as you guys may know, is from Work Pro Lighting. It consists of two consoles at this time. The LS1, which has these 10 faders, programming keys, encoder wheels, nice screen. And then the LS Core, which is basically the same computer but in a blank box with a little screen on the front and an antenna. Both offer the same software, the same basic hardware, the same computer inside. And what is unique about the LightShark is it's a standalone lighting console running the software that runs your lights. It has up to 8 DMX universes, 2 via the onboard ports, and the remaining 6 via SACM. And you are able to control it then via a tablet, a large phone, or a computer. Okay, tablets and computers highly recommended, and really anything with a web browser can control the LightShark. Now, I first met the LightShark team, and the full disclosure here is that I do work with them a little bit, helping them with some support and doing their videos. You may have seen that on their channel. But here on Learn Stage Lighting, I am totally sold out to being completely as unbiased as I can, okay? And the whole reason I work with these guys is because I ran into their product at a trade show. I found the LightShark, and I said, this is different. This is unique. I'm interested. And we started doing videos together. So, in the comments, I know there's going to be some people going, hey, you're just a sellout. Hey, you're just, advertising. And I'm not. They didn't pay me to say this. They're not paying me to say this. This is different than the support that I help them with here in the U.S. and with English-speaking folk. But great console. And so how do you know if the LightShark is right for you? As we talked about in our last video, and you can check it out here if you missed it, finding an intermediate level lighting console, if you decide that intermediate level is right for you, and for a lot of people, they can be great consoles, you next want to say, okay, is the LightShark right for me? Now, there's a couple angles you want to look at it from, and in this video, we're primarily going to look at software, okay? In my next video, I'm going to talk about DMX interfaces and playback options, kind of external options to control this stuff, and what those costs could look like, okay? So make sure you catch that video too. But in this video, I want to talk about, is the LightShark, is the LS1 right for you? Now, the first reason, and the reason people really flock to a console like the LS1, is the fact that you've got a standalone hardware console that's running its own software, okay? This means that you're able to put it into a church, into a club, into a bar, into whatever venue you have, leave it there installed, and you're not going to be susceptible to software updates from Windows and Mac coming in and breaking the software. You're not going to be susceptible to people installing other programs on your console and having those cause you issues. And that's probably the biggest reason that first draws people to the LightShark, but there's a whole lot more to it, okay? If you compare the LightShark, just setup-wise, to a PC-based setup, it's really simple to walk into a venue, plug in the power, plug in the DMX, turn the console on, connect with the tablet, okay? And a lot of people, including some of my students, will use the same tablet to access multiple things. So you might use it for a lighting console, you might use it to control an audio console, go back and forth between the two, have two tablets, whatever. Now, the biggest benefits are probably those. Just ease of setup, it's not going to get messed up by other users, and it's a really solid software. On the topic of stability, the LightShark is very, 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 very stable. I rarely, if ever, hear of any crashes, and usually they're running very old software. Okay, so why go with the LightShark? Okay, you may look at the cost and get the cost, and these guys sell. I think the LS1 is around $1,700, and the Core is around $700 in the U.S. And what you get for that money is that all-in-one package. Now, on the software side, where you're really starting to think, okay, is this console right for me? Is it not? You really want to look closely. Now, the LightShark does not, at this time, offer any offline software. So you can't try out the software on your own without one of these consoles. Now, if you want to check one out, see if you can find a local dealer in your area. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. And if that's not the case, go ahead and watch the videos that I have on LightShark, both here on Learn Stage Lighting and on the Work Pro TV channel, which is where they keep the official LightShark videos. You'll begin to see what the console can and cannot do, and I think you'll find it's very well featured. It's got a very complete feature set. You're able to go in there, select your lights, apply different attributes, either individually or through palettes. You're able to create some basic effects, and they tell me upcoming in a software update, the effects is going to get much better. And then you're able to record those onto these different faders. Now, the different faders on this console, besides just being playback faders, being able to control intensity and play back different looks, these faders actually can also control things like color, like position as you move them up and down. Also, they can control the effect's speed and size, which is really cool as well. It allows you really, I would say, to get a really good level of control and programming ability without breaking the bank and without being overly complex. So why choose this? Okay, just getting down to brass tacks. Why would you choose the LightShark over LightKey or over a more complex console like Onyx or something less complex like DMX's? I already talked about kind of the basic level and pro grade and why to bounce between either of those. So why choose the LightShark over LightKey? Well, I think besides the things that I already noted about the software updates, the ability that you can't install anything else on it, etc., I think it's the highest quality, well-priced lighting console in this range. In the past few years, since the LightShark's come out, we've seen the intermediate range of lighting consoles explode. Beating the LightShark before the LightShark was around, there was the MA.2, which got discontinued fairly quickly. It was very expensive for what you got. In my opinion, it was not worth it. Okay, the LightShark came out, then we saw things like the Camsys QuickQ, and now there are others on the market as well, and there's the ETC Color Source consoles. And a lot of these consoles kind of cover the same ground price-wise, but I think the LightShark really wins just in total functionality and in ability to customize. And so what I would say is, if you're looking at different consoles, the LightShark is really right for you if you want to work in a way that matches other lighting consoles, and you want to be able to get that live on-the-fly control and be able to really have a simple but really well-programmed show. Okay, this is one of the things that I run into a lot when I'm working with people, is thinking about the audience and what the audience can see as compared to what you, as the lighting person, can see. And this is getting a little abstract, but I think it's worth it. A lot of times I talk to people and they want to program something very specific. And sometimes a console like the LightShark or like LightKey can't do that very specific programming move. And so people often throw the baby proverbially out with the bathwater, because they say, well, if I can't do this specific thing, this specific chase, this specific whatever, then I don't want this console. But at the same time, I'm not sure your audience would ever know or care whether you did that specific thing or whether you just create a great show that matched the music or the service or whatever you're programming to. And so to wrap this up, the LightShark is going to be right for you, I'd say, if you're looking for something in this price range that has a really good feature set, is easy to get started with and begin programming, but is also able to control a pretty large amount of lights. And that third point is really where the LightShark beats out LightKey as well. I like LightKey. Sure, I'm not a Mac person anymore, but one of the things that drives me nuts about LightKey, and I've got a video about why LightKey isn't right for you, is that when you start to get a good number of fixtures, programming the different preset palettes and shoving those into queues is really difficult and can get really confusing. It can be a really huge mess and be difficult. Okay, with the LightShark, it follows a simplified version, basically, of how professional grade consoles work, using preset or using fixtures, groups, putting those into palettes, recording those into queues. And this enables you to, even if you have 8 universes of lights, you've got a bunch of lights, it enables you, once you're set up, to program them very quickly and efficiently. And so those are just some of the reasons why I really recommend the LightShark over LightKey in some situations. And I think it's right for a lot of churches and bands and DJs who are looking to run their own stuff. Sure, if you want to have a almost obsessive level of complexity, should I say, this might not work for you. But if you want to create a great light show with some lights that you have or that you're getting, and you're not going to be super particular about the exact way that you make things, I think the LightShark can be a really great option and is a great option for a lot of people. I've had a lot of students buy these. I use them myself, and I find it to be a really solid, really great, really easy to use console. So with that, if you like this, be sure to subscribe, like this video, and check out the rest of my playlist on choosing the best lighting console for you. Until then, we will see you guys around the web. Thanks.